Hey, good morning. Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to another edition of what I call Crossdeck. I may change that name sometime. I don't know. It just, since I'm a Navy guy, that term came to my mind when I created the show and I ran with it. So happy Sunday. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. I am existing in what can only be called as a smog-ridden, filth-laden environment. The southeastern Wisconsin area has had a couple of rounds of smoke from the Canadian wildfires pushed down into us. Actually, last week we had it pushed down into us, and then the smoke passed us, and then the winds turned around and went back and now pushed the smoke back up into Wisconsin. So we had one good day yesterday of clear air, and the gal and I took full advantage of it. I got a very long run in, first time I've run outside in several days because of the smoke, and my legs were hurting badly. And then since we wanted to get outside and enjoy the day while we still could, we went to the Waukesha County Fair and had a good time there. Although I was actually pretty miserable with the heat and my legs feeling the way they were. I kind of did it for her because I wanted to get her out of the house, and I wasn't feeling it. I was feeling pretty terrible towards the end of our visit there. And we went and ate, and we just came back home and crashed. We were so tired, but I'm here now. I'm awake. I didn't have a really intense workout this morning. I slept in a little bit, which is good. Rest is always good. And then went and just did a light workout and some miles on the bike. So feeling good, feeling relaxed. The legs still kind of hurt right now, but I'm here. Not much going on in the arcade other than you see behind me the Star Wars Pinball. We're going to work on it today. The Pinner stuff is actually pretty well taken care of. We got the Pi and the hat installed last weekend, and we got the backglass on the Raspberry Pi Zero 2W going on my temporary monitor over here. And so I'll pop over the view here. So what we're going to do today is I have right here a 22-inch, the recommended 22-inch monitor for the backglass install. Now I'm going to be kind of mirroring what Cool Toy did in his video, and I was going to link that up, but I had some issues crop up before the show, and I didn't get time to put that out there, but I'll add it after the fact. Cool Toy, a link to Cool Toy's video. It's part 2 of Arcade1Up modification series that he did, and in part 2 he touches on replacing the backglass monitor, and that's what we're primarily going to be focused on today. I'm going to unbox what I received from eBay, make sure it's okay. I'm going to plug the HDMI into it, test it, make sure it sees the signal from the Pi Zero 2W. And once I verify that, then we're going to move on gutting the backglass here. And again, following Cool Toy's instruction, which is all up in my brain, supposedly. You know, things could go wrong. Who knows? But anyway, let's do what we normally do. Let's welcome the chat here. Let's see. Ted Adam Green is here as always. Good to see you, Ted. Let's see. And by the way, thank you all for letting me know the audio is good, because my setting, I use Sonar as my audio mixer, and every once in a while the settings just seem to go stupid, and I have to go in and reset everything. And well, since I haven't streamed so much in the last little while, I don't remember what the settings were. So I have to sit and play with it until I get it to working the way I want it to work. I still don't think I have it 100% where it needs to be, but thank you, Ted, for letting me know. And thank you, Hockey Town, as well. Hockey Town is here. Yes. Good to see you, sir. Let's see. We have a new person. Faria Callan 5936. Welcome to the show. Appreciate it. Let's see. No, I can go over it. But I haven't, I'm not very good at that kind of stuff. We'll see if we can't walk through it. Okay. A little bit. But the primary purpose of today is to get that backglass installed. If I have time later, I'll see if we can't cover that a little bit. Let's see. Okay, we're caught up in the chat. All right. I had a major expense this week. It kind of sidetracked my goal of getting a sim cockpit, and I knew it was happening, and I put it off long enough. Well, it got to the point where I couldn't put it off any longer. My garage door crapped out on me, and it's been sounding awful anyway. I've known this for weeks, and the guy I usually have do my garage door went on vacation, so I couldn't use him. So I went with another company, and they came out and they did a thorough inspection of my door and basically said, you basically need to replace everything but the door panels, which I kind of knew. I knew the rollers were bad. I knew the opener was the original one from 25 years ago. It's on its way out. And the springs were 2-year springs that just weren't up to the task of lifting my heavy door. I have a heavy door, not a aluminum door. And so all said and done, it cost me a pretty penny to get that done. It needed to be taken care of. But the good news is my door sounds fantastic right now. You can't even hear it open. The only thing you can hear is the motor, which is what it should be. My door is whisper quiet. So I'm happy, but sad, because now I'm going to have to really raise some cash to do what I want to do with the sim racing. And that means the cabinets to my left are going to be going on the block. Now, Time Crisis, I'm going to let go of, but it has a bad gun on it. The blue gun is broke, and I've got an open ticket with Arcade1Up, and they don't have any in stock. They'll have to order it, and then it's an open ticket with them. So they'll ping me as soon as they get it in stock, and they'll ship it to me. Fast and Furious, I've got a buyer for that lined up. Big Buck Hunter, I wasn't going to let go, but now I think I'm going to have to, just to keep, I don't like debt. You folks know that. So if I have to pay for something, it's got to come from somewhere else. And so that was not a complete unexpected expense, but it kind of, it took me out of doing the whole sim racing thing for the time being. So I'm just going to have to be satisfied with the setup I have up in my home office for now. So anyway, we'll get this wrapped up. I do also want to clean up the wiring. and route the wiring appropriately. And I'm taking the idea from Stock Jock. I'm going to drill or widen the hole in the removable faceplate or back plate, and then I'm going to run a power strip cord through it. So that's what we're going to do. And yeah, so we can just go ahead and get started on that. Israel Gaming's here. Good to see you. Danny's here. Yeah, Danny, that was my mom's attitude. And you know what? Her kids had to deal with that. So that's bad advice. I'm just telling you right now from experience. So anywho, let's go ahead and get started. No, I don't want to do that. Don't want to do that either. All right, we'll do this view. Yeah, and that's not it for the home. I got to replace my windows too, so that's another major expense that's coming. So that can hold off a little bit. All right. So I'm just going to jump into it. One thing I forgot to do is change mics. So I need to do that. There we go. Good old DJI. All right, let's change mics. Mic sources. Testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm on the good mic. So we'll push the big mic out of the way. Yeah, that's very true, Ted. That's very true. And there's also a guy in the area that buys them in bulk. So he's a great guy. He's bought from me before, and so I'm sure I can get him to take 1 or 2 off my hands. Okay. I'm mic'd up. I'm ready to go. Let's see if I can tilt this down a little bit. Tilt it down just a little bit. All right, so top left you can see is basically my desk cam aimed at the pinball, and then I have my cell phone camera aimed at the table, which I still have set up. I want to get this wrapped up today because I want to get the pinball back where it belongs, and I want to clean up this space because, guys, I haven't been able to play my At Games 4KP or my Legends pinball in days, and actually over a week, because I've had all this stuff in front of it. So let's begin by unboxing the 22-inch. And you can see on my temp monitor here that I have the back glass up and running on it. We'll switch that out. So I ordered this monitor off eBay. It is the recommended monitor, and it was listed as new in box, and it kind of looks like it is. You can find these for cheap, or you can pay a penny just for the term new in box. So I got to put my glasses on. Stock Jock is here. Welcome, buddy. Good to see you. Good to see you as always. We're going to try and whip through this morning because I got stuff to do. I got, in spite of the air outside, I got to cut the grass. Show note, just so you guys know, no show next week. Next week, I'm in Indianapolis for the Brickyard 400. So I'm as you all know, I'm a stringer photographer for the Indianapolis Star there. So I will be gone next weekend. So there will be no show. Just letting you all know. So the model on this monitor is a SB220Q. That's the recommended monitor for this mod. All right. So it does appear to be new in box. The instruction manual and all of the parts and pieces appear to be still wrapped. We've got a a video cable we don't need. We've got the power cable. We need that. And the reason why I'm unboxing this right now is because I want to make sure it works. So let's see. Making sure there's still a good camera view. Yes. And obviously, a lot of these parts and pieces we're not going to need, like the base. We got our power cord. There's the brick for the power. We need that. All right. We don't need this. Okay. And there's the monitor. There does appear to be some protective tape on it. Stock jock. Yeah, I need to be careful about trips. I've been, as y'all know, I've been very busy this year. So I just need to. We have a vacation planned for September, and that's our last major trip of the year. There's some residue on this tape that's coming off, or that's I got to kind of rub off. Apparently, this monitor has been in the box for quite a while. There's just a little film residue. Just want to clean that off. All right. So I'm not going to worry about putting the base on, but I am going to power it up and move there's only one HDMI input. See if we can get that to reach my power. So I'm going to disconnect the HDMI from this monitor and move it here. I'll just orient it like that so the cables can stay connected. All right, let's plug the monitor in. Turn it on. There it is. I'll pick it up a little bit so you guys can see. So this is the monitor I intend to use. It works. And it's good. All right. Good to know that it works. Prince Vinny is here. No, I'm not. When you watch this on replay, you'll hear my story about my sim rig plans. They're kind of on the back burner right now. So I'm just scrolling back and looking at some of the chat. For my vacation in September, we're either going to Virginia Beach or we're going to the Outer Banks. Haven't decided which one yet. We like both. We love both. OBX will probably be a little less crowded at that time of year. It's after Labor Day, so. Okay, so now what we need to do is remove the existing backglass. Let me just charging up my other lights here. All right. Okay, so here's the back of the pinball. I'll kind of widen the view here. So what we need to do, and you guys can see I put the sticker that comes with the OPI kit, one of the stickers, the black and orange one on the back plane here. So, all right, so what we need to do is we need to take this panel out. So we're going to loosen the side screws so we can get everything out. Hopefully that'll be enough. I'm just going to loosen the top four. It's a 22-inch TV, Prince Vinny, and it's the recommended monitor, the SB220Q. I mentioned that earlier on the stream. I know you jumped in late. All right. So let's see. I don't think I have it loosened up quite enough. So we're going to need to. Oh. Yeah, let's just. We're going to have to take the screws out. No worries. Hey, and Spirits is here. Good to see you. I did check the Sam's Club the other day for WrestleFest, and the same three that have been there for several, actually more than 3 weeks now, that you've seen on PD7's video, those same three are still there. They're sitting at 449 right now, and nobody's going after them. So everybody that wants these things either already has them or they're waiting for them to go on fire sale. But there isn't any in stock at the Milwaukee Sam's Club, which is the one I normally go to, which is off of I-45, 4145. All right. But I had to go into that Sam's Club anyway. So I'm taking the top piece off here just so I can get, because this is obviously going to have to go back on, but I'm going to try and pre-fit the monitor in here just to make sure it's a perfect fit. So we just got to kind of work this out. I don't want to break it. I want to preserve it. There we go. All right, so we've got the old marquee or whatever you want to call it out. All right, so now what we have remaining, there's a couple of different ways you can go about this. Cool Toy mentions that you can reverse it. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it like this, but this is your light bars for the back box. Not going to use them, not with the TV in there. So this looks a little different than what I saw in Cool Toy's video, but we're gonna see. So I'm gonna leave. One thing he did do though is I saw him pick the cable up for the light bars and just kind of tuck it. He zip tied it in there, which I didn't get those out. I was gonna get those out. Tie wrap. Use a small one. I'm just gonna kind of neatly wrap or tie wrap this. Of course, I don't have wire cutters. Not down here anyway. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna keep it like that. I'm gonna pop it out here briefly. Well, actually, let's see if I can get it out. Yeah. All right. So take the back plane out for now. It will go back in. I just need to, I want to work with the shell here and see how this monitor is going to fit. Turn everything off. They weren't kidding. It kind of just sits in there. But the one thing Cool Toy mentions is you got to have room down here on this lip to access the buttons. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll bring it up here. But you can see the buttons there. They're on the lower right side of the monitor. And you just got to make sure you have room to access those buttons. All right, so let's see here. You can kind of see here how this monitor sits. It just sits on the edge here, but the way we're going to secure this monitor is with 3M double-sided tape run along the back of the monitor, and it will this section will adhere to the top, the chrome top of the unit, and then there'll be some 3M tape on the sides here to secure it against the two sides. So and then, also what we'll do is we're going to attach some L-shape or an L-shaped bracket. Might do it over here as well. Right here. And then we'll drill a screw into this F panel right here. So the brackets, the side, the monitor side of the L brackets will be 3M taped, and then the bottom part will be screwed in. All right. It's kind of dusty. Just looking at the sides, yeah. All right. So where did I do with my L brackets? I know I brought them down here. I'm pretty sure I did, unless I left them upstairs. I got to go upstairs. I think I left them upstairs because that's the next thing I want to do. I know I have my mic on, so I'm not going to be going to the bathroom. Hi, cat. Yep, there's my L brackets. Okay. Yes, I know, Hockey Town. I knew it was hot. I didn't want to take the time to mess with the audio. Just make sure I didn't go to the bathroom. So I got my L brackets. They're from Walmart. I got more than I need, really. And it came with screws, but the screws are kind of long. Let's see if we can't make them work. So I want to try and use two. Now the thing is, I want to make sure that I line these up correctly. Yeah, I could have done a polished video, but you guys get to see this live. Just a little bit of the. So we have our 3M tape here. Got a roll of it. Definitely more than I need. Let's put it up. Trying to peel, and then you got to try and peel the backing without peeling the entire thing. I definitely don't have the nails for this. All right. So we're going to put the L bracket on just like so. I'll do one on the other side just to be safe. There. And there's a couple of things I could do with this too. In addition to being a backglass monitor, which we're not going to do today, but yeah, I could put like an HDMI splitter or you know, a multiple input HDMI splitter, and then put like I don't know, a Roku on it. Play movies through it if I wanted to. Maybe that'll be something down the road I'll do. Again, I'm struggling with peeling. There we go. Well, I peeled some of it off. That should be good anyway. The obvious reason why we're using 3M tape on one side is because we're not drilling holes into the monitor, into the electronics. Okay, now I want to put strips of 3M tape on the sides. So just the lower section there. Do the other side. Okay. All right. So now I know how this is going to go in. I'm going to put this piece back in. Well, actually, no, I can't right now. Because I have to drill. I have to drill, baby, drill. All right. I'm trying to remember Cool Toys video. Think this through. All right. And again, you got to make sure the buttons are accessible. I'm kind of thinking about taking the side panel off one at a time, just to make sure I get this in here the way I want it. Yeah, so I can hit the buttons there. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to play it safe. Is I'm gonna drill the holes that I need. I want to get the monitor where I want it to be, where I want it to sit, where I can still feel all the buttons. I kind of wish I had another person here to hold this up for me. Oh, how am I going to do this? All right. Oh, you want to hear? You want to hear a cool Navy story? I got one. So yesterday, on our way back from the Waukesha County Fair. I needed gas. I was getting really low on gas. And so we stopped at Costco. The same Costco PD7 goes to a lot. And I'm standing there pumping gas, and then the guy that wears the yellow vest at Costco that monitors the gas pumps, he walks up to me because I'm wearing my Theodore Roosevelt ball cap. So he knew I was Navy. And he comes up and he goes, "You were on the TR?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "So was I." So I had a shipmate working at that Costco on the pumps that was on the same ship as me. Now, we were on different times. He was on during the Gulf War. I got off. My tenure ended before he got on, but he was on during the period where they transitioned women on board aircraft carriers, and that was interesting stuff. All right, is this coming off or no? It doesn't look like it's coming off. Oh, you know why? Because there's a bracket in there. Maybe I'm making this more difficult than it needs to be. Again, thinking. All right. I'm just gonna wing it here. I'm gonna go ahead and take the side tape off in the hopes that it holds it. Trick is going to be getting this where it needs to be. Because once you put this on, it's on. This 3M tape is pretty strong. Come on. The gentleman that I met yesterday at Costco, he was a flight deck crewman for VFA 1. Was it VFA 105? I should know. Same squadron that was on when I was there. One of the same squadrons. All right, this is gonna be interesting. I pretty much want to get this where it needs to be right away. Do they have room for the buttons? Right, that's gonna hold it. Buttons are accessible, yes. So stock check when you do yours, make sure these buttons right here are accessible underneath. Okay. Drilling. Now again, these screws looked way too big, but it is what it is. Oh, seriously? All right. Now, I'm not an expert driller. Hopefully this will be good. Oh, I need that other piece. We're going to use this one. You can tell I don't work with drills much. Oh, damn it. I'm going to need to start these holes. That probably wouldn't hurt. Okay, that one's in. Did it go through? Yes, it did. So this, I knew they were too long, but I don't care because it's not visible, right? Ah, don't drill your fingers, folks. God damn it. Use my French. All right. Do I think I'll leave it at 2 screws for now. All right. So far looking good. Now that I've done that, I can put this back piece back in. Perfect. And now let's see how this piece is going to fit here, the top piece. So it's going to lean back just a little bit in order to make contact with the upper lip here. But it's important that you have these buttons out. You know, you have to start here to line this up properly. So the monitor is going to lean back a little bit in order to make contact. So before I go any further, I need to route power and HDMI. I should have done that before I put the back piece back in. So, where's my HDMI cable? I'm just going to power everything off here for safety. Now, the key question is, where am I mounting my Pi 02W? Am I going to mount it up here and just run a short cable? Actually, I don't have a short. It's just the same length. So I could mount my Pi 02 up here, or I can mount it down here. Stock Check, what are your thoughts? I was thinking about mounting it up here, but it might make more sense to do it down here because that's where all the power is going to be. Oh, what a mishmash of cables. Hopefully we'll be able to clean all this up. Oh, boy. That's a lot of cables. Now, Stock Jack, I know why you took the route you did with regards to power. Okay, this is my... I know you guys can't see any of this stuff I'm doing with wiring. This is my main 32-inch monitor mount. The hell is this? It's on the back glass. And my Pi became loose because that's another thing I got to figure out is the proper tilt orientation for that thing. I think it's different for various Pis. So this is my Pi power. That's the USB. So here's my Pi 02. Hopefully I can get this all back together. Yeah, Stock Chuck, I agree. Okay. All right, so that means we have to route this cable down through here. Are we going to have room to do it? Oh boy. Don't tell me we're going to hit a snag here. We got our HDMI cable coming up, which is taking up most of the hole Oh, crap. I might have to widen this hole. Bummer. That's a really tight hole. The problem I'm having is right here where the cables are coming up from the bottom into the back box. I can't get the HDMI cable to fit. Now this is going to be a real pisser. I show you. So the hole I'm talking about is this hole right here. So you've got your large round hole here in the back box, but it's the hole in the bottom portion that's really thin. And I don't even know if I have a wrench to get these screws done. I'll have to see. So we're encountering snags. Stock Chuck says to loosen up those screws. All right. If I can find an Allen wrench. One way or another, we're getting this done today. Let's see if this fits. It does. How did I get so lucky? I don't think loosening up the Allen wrench or the bolts are going to do any good. I need to see that hole. Now, when Cool Toy did this, he actually had the back box removed. He put his monitor in on a table in the back with the back box sitting on the table. Those bolts are out. Take out the HDMI, take out the power. I don't know what that was. Oh, that was my Pi 02. Let's not be slapping that around. All right, so I will show you guys what I'm dealing with here, just so you know. So this is with the back box removed. There's no room. There's no room. This is your HDMI cable. This is your power cable to the DMD. So there's no room there to squeeze a cable up through. I can try, but I actually probably going to need to remove this top plate. This is getting more involved than I thought it would need to be. Okay. Yeah, there's plenty of room on the other side. Okay, Stock Jock, you might be right. Let's find out. So this kind of kills the idea of, yeah, see, the HDMI cable that I chose has extra, so I'm going to need to lift this up. Yeah. Just, this kind of helps illustrate some of the things that you folks might encounter if you're putting on a back box. So, but it makes more sense now. The discussion I had earlier about where I was going to put the Pi 02W. I bet I'll have enough room. Oh, yeah. So there's a big hole there. It's just that a lot of it's not exposed. I mean, if I'm only going to be running, well, I'm going to be running two. I got to run the power for the monitor up through here as well. I suppose I could always drill another hole. No, I can't do that. No. All right. Well, let's just work on what we can work on. So I can shove it down. It goes through the hole. Nope, that's not how it has. Nope. See, now you got to be careful because I got to go through the hole in the back box. That's important. Now I can go down. If I could just leave this piece off, it'd be great, but no, it's probably critical to the placement of the back box. Now I need to get one more cable through there, and it's going to be so hard. The monitor power cable. Granted, Oh, this little resistor is gonna, or capacitor, or whatever it is at the end, is gonna be a problem. No, it's not. This is so irritating trying to do this. I'm just taking this off. All right, so I can get it up through there. Curious how others have already done this that I've seen post about it to Facebook have done this. All right, get the resistor through. All right, so we've got the resistor through. Now we need to squeeze all this together. Oh, there's a zip tie on the HDMI. That might make things a little interesting. All right, so I've got all the cables that need to go in. All right, before I tie all that down, let's go through what I need here. I can't see the chat from across the room, so hopefully you guys are okay. If you're asking me questions, I'm sorry. I don't have my tablet down here with me. And even if I did, I still wouldn't be able to see it as I'm doing this stuff. So, all right. So let's get the back box back up. Gotta be careful. I don't want to touch that monitor. Gotta route my cables again. These aren't seeing any of this. EMD power and monitor power. All right, set the back box back into place. All right, so our HDMI is in. This is our monitor power. Our HDMI for the DMD. Which doesn't want to go in. There it goes. All right. Just going to tuck when I'm not using back through. Oh, almost lost the back. Oh, yeah. That woke me up. All right, so right now what we're going to do is reattach the back box so it doesn't flip over on me. You guys been with me a while, you know that I'm prone to disasters sometime. The big buck hunter marquee is evidence of that. So just telling you guys, if you're doing this back box mod, just you're probably going to have to remove it just to be able to route cables. If you guys are able to find a better way than I, more power to you, but I'm just going to make sure all the slack is down here. Tightening up my screws. Make sure you leave room with these cables going around that you can still work with the screws. All right, that's tight enough. All right. So here is our power for the DMD. Power for the monitor. All right, so all our cables are down there now. All right. So the Pi 02W is going to go down there, we decided. Okay, so now where's my top lip piece? There it is. So what we're going to do is, you see this chrome piece right here, we're just going to put a strip of 3M tape all the way across that strip. Did I say backbone? Okay. Oh, well. So we're going to put a piece of 3M tape all the way. It doesn't have to be all the way across. It could be a little short. As long as it secures the monitor to where it needs to go. And I realize you guys can't see that. All right, so I've put a piece of 3M tape on the top lip. All right. Well, if you want to keep the holes intact, or if you don't want to remove this middle plate here, it's doable. You just gotta take everything off. Okay, so we need to peel. I should probably play chill music while I'm doing this. Okay. So I gotta put this piece back in. I've got my cables routed. All right. Cables are coming through there, and that's good. And then we'll just put this. All right, so I've got my 3M tape up here, and we're just going to push the monitor back against it. I don't know what that is. A little bit of exposure here, which I might just cover up with black electrical tape. Almost an hour and a half. Black tape. There's just a little piece of white right here that I'm just covering up. Make it all look even. Now I'm going to put my screws back in, tighten up the back box. And now we'll tighten the 3M tape together on the bottom parts here. Now I do not want to yank this 32-inch monitor out again. I don't. It might be easier to do that just so I can access everything and do the. You know, I just don't want to pull that 32-inch monitor out if I don't have to. So in order to make things nice and neat, I got to get used to working in tight spaces. So you got to line it up a little bit. But we'll try and get everything buttoned or connected so we can do a quick test. Just see how it looks. Okay. I appreciate all you guys being here with me. I've had this Star Wars pinball for, it was one of my earliest pickups was this Star Wars pinball. So it's got some age on it. I bought it not too long after the pinballs came out. And guys, just for trivia purposes, I did have a Marvel as well. I had a Marvel new in box, but I decided not to keep it. So I sold it. Actually, that Marvel was I got from, remember that auction that B did, the auction stream that B and others did, where they gave or they sold things for cheap. I got a Marvel pinball and a Pong. Uh, the Pong pub, not the pub table, the sit down version of it. Okay, now the fun part. We got monitor power. Oh, I turned the strip off. Okay. Where's my pie? Yeah, there it goes. Okay. And Raspberry Pi power. Still going through this hole. All right. Here we go. Did I plug the monitor in? I don't think I did. It's mismatch of wires. All right, the Acer monitor has power. All right, why am I not getting power? What am I missing? What am I missing? What did I do? That's there. Oh, did I? Monitor has power. Oh man, I broke this monitor somehow. Oh, there it goes. Oh man. Well, this I know the Pi 02 is working. I really need to spend time cleaning the glass and everything. It's like oh, you know what? I don't have in. It just occurred to me now. The Raspberry Pi power. Okay. Stupid. Raspberry Pi power. No, stock talk. It was the fact that I didn't plug in the Raspberry Pi 5 power strip or power brick. There it goes. That's much better looking. And I've seen some chatter on Discord, people doing speaker mods. Putting more powerful, like decasing the Logitech Z313 speakers and replacing the Arcade1Up speakers with them. Putting the bass in. I don't know if I want to go that far, but There we go. So the Pi 02W is booted up. Got my backglass IP. It's on my Wi-Fi. That's much better. Still starting up. That's why it was a little bit slow or delayed. Looking great so far. Now I just got to get the wiring mess taken care of. Oh, Big B, by the way, welcome. I don't think I have, my mod level is nowhere near some of the folks in the home arcade community. Okay, so now we need to button up this mess. I think I'm good to put this back panel back on. So if I can find that piece, here it is. Oh, see now, this is going to go in rough. Hammer it in when all else is. Now, the question is, what did I do with the 2 screws? Oh, man. I thought they were like right in this general area, but I think I moved them. I suppose I could try these screws. They almost look identical. Can't believe I did that. Always know where your screws are. You definitely don't want to screw loose. Do I have any laying on the floor here? That might have fallen off. I don't see any. All right, let's try and use these. And they're not going to work. Oh, there they are. I found them. Those 4. Here we go. Yeah, they're not catching anymore, so they're stripped out. I've taken that off and on again. All right. Now, the fun begins. All right. I kind of hemmed and hawed about doing this part. What you're looking at right now is the inside of the Arcade1Up, but that particular corner is where my power strip's going to go. So, in order for the power to fit through here, the plug, I got to drill this open. So, my trusty drill. Make sure all my parts and pieces are together. And then I have this little, I forget what these are called. They're called, I had the name. That thing right there. So I don't know if that's wide enough, but we'll find out. Got my handy dandy now. Stock Jock, I know what you're going to say. That's too big of a power supply. Well, go big or go home, right? I mean, I just want to make sure. For number one, my number one thing when looking for a power strip was to make sure that I could, I guess it doesn't matter which way this goes. Make sure that I could plug everything in because some of these plugs are oversized. Yeah, that's not going to do it. Need to do some more drilling. Yeah, pretty much Hockey Town. I took the brain. Well, the brains are actually still in there. I left the PCB, the original Arcade1Up PCB in there. So if I were to sell this someday and somebody wanted to move it back to the Arcade1Up PCB, they certainly could. Hopefully this is big enough. Yep. All right. So I've got my plug. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter which way it goes. And what I'm going to do on this is I'm going to put an iHome smart plug on here. Control the on and off from my phone. Okay. Now that we've done that, now I probably should just power all this stuff off. And start to work on wiring the power. And again, I don't think I have this. I don't think I have this oriented correctly. We also need to find out a good location for the I02. And I'm going to recommend that you guys do invest in a case for the Pi 02W. Okay, so this stuff is coming down from the back box. I got plenty of room to work with here for the power strip, but I'm going to attach the power strip with with uh, uh, strips like I did with the Pi. But for now, I just want to get everything plugged into it that needs to get plugged into it. Okay, this is the monitor. I realize you guys can't see this too good, but I'll zoom in and point out what I did. There's one wire in here that you got to be careful of, and that's going to the Arcade1Up controller. Oh, there's no slack in there at all. Go over it. Actually, I might just go ahead and put that down now. I'm going to go ahead and attach the power strip. It's just going to be easier. And again, I'm just using these 3M command artwork hanging strips, Velcro. I have to run the vacuum down here, of course. Since I drilled. Just put it in the center of the power strip. Peel off the backing the other side. Get off my hand. All right. All right, so I ran this over that cable that goes into the Arcade1Up controller. And the Velcro strips that I used actually give the cable a little room to wiggle around under there, so there's not any pressure or anything. All right, so let's start to attach some power. So the first thing I'm going to plug in, which is at the very end, is my monitor, my 32-inch monitor. And as I do this, and of course, I left my tie strips over there. Mike Cockhertz is here. Welcome, sir. Welcome. All right, I've got plenty of assorted tie wraps. I should get my scissors too, just so I can cut off the ends. Not so many cobwebs as there are dust. Dust accumulates down here pretty good. So I'm constantly down here with my little rag. I'm just going to do some cable management here as I go. So the first thing I plugged in was the 32-inch power. And I want to leave some loose so that there's some play. Okay. All right, so the monitor is in. Now, Raspberry Pi. Okay, let's see what our other power thing needs are. I got to do this smartly. All right, so this is the monitor, the backglass monitor. Of course, this has a brick, so I'm actually going to use 2 tie wraps. Okay, and then we have the power cord. That's good enough. So got both monitor powers going. This will be a better solution than having all the power cords running out a hole in the back. I'll make sure I turn that on before I button this up. Okay. And we'll just kind of set this in here off to the side. All right, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more slots, but one of them, the Raspberry Pi brick, is pretty large, so that's probably going to eat 2 slots. So let's make sure. I've got my Arcade1Up power here, which is probably going to remain external. My Arcade1Up brick, that will just stay. Okay, so and then here's oh, this is for the Pi 02. Okay. So this is for the Pi 02, this is for the Pi 02. I'm wondering if I should just route the Arcade1Up power back inside the cabinet. I might just do that, but I'm going to do it the lazy way, so. And we'll see if this works. Okay, so what I've done is I'm rerouting the Arcade1Up power brick in on the inside to the power strip that's on the inside. Again, doing it the lazy way, but let's find a location for the Pi 02W. something that's easy. I think right there might work well. I need another 3M command strip. Well, let's hook up some stuff here. Let's do the HDMI. Do the power. And the USB. All right. Why I pre-connected everything is because I want to make sure that I got enough slack. So I'm going to push this farther back a little bit. And let me adjust this a little bit so you guys can see. So it's getting kind of crowded. So we have our power strip over here, power brick for the 22-inch monitor up here. And then here's our Pi 02W. Okay. Fill it off and then set it. Set it and forget it. So I think it works best to put the Pi 02W down with everything else. All right. Now we need to do some cable management. So I've got this USB cable. Lots of moving parts and pieces here. So if y'all didn't notice already, I'm using color-coded tie wraps. So kind of using a different color. So monitor power is blue. For the Pi 02W cables, I'm using orange. Kind of helps identify things quicker. Okay. So that's the USB. It's kind of wiggling in there. That concerns me. Here. All right, now we have the power. For the Pi 02. Plug that in, and we'll go ahead and do our cable management. And again, I'll use the orange. Some folks just bundle all these wires together. I like to keep them separate in case I have to pull anything out. Okay. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. All right, and then lastly, the HDMI cable. This one, let's pull it out temporarily. I want to reroute this cable. Okay. I just want to be a little bit softer on this cable because it's a rigid cable. I try to get as close as I can. So that takes care of that. Now all we need to do is the last is the pi power, the white pi power. And I left enough room on the power strip because that covers two power ports on the power strip. So I don't know. I guess I'll use pink on this cable. And this should be the last connection I have to make to tidy things up. All right. Looks like we're done. I kind of want to keep everything off of the Pi 02W because that thing gets pretty warm. I mean, not a hella warm, but it gets warm enough. Okay. Oh, I was gonna. Oh shit! No, I wasn't done. I was gonna plug in the Arcade1Up power to that thing. I don't know if I can get it in there or not. Oh, this is going to be a bummer if I can't do it. If I can't do it, I can't do it. And I have to, oh, there we go. Now let's see if this will work. No, I can't do both. So the Arcade1Up power is going to have to stay outside. That's a bummer. And I can't really stick it at the end because the end one has an even larger brick on it. But so I have to bring the Arcade1Up power back out. No worries. We'll just have two power cables coming out the back. Make sure this is on. And we'll put the back plate back on. It's looking pretty crowded in there, isn't it? It really is. So, power strip, monitor brick, all of our cables. This is our Raspberry Pi 5, our Raspberry Pi 02W. So, it's a tight fit, but we're going to make it work. So what I'm going to do is I should have one iHome outlet somewhere back here that I can use. And guess what? If you guys don't know, I'm in my parts storage area. It's been a while since I gave a tour of my parts storage area. Might do that when I get back. So I thought I had one iHome plug left, and apparently I don't. Well, if I do, it's buried somewhere. Still looking. Aha, no, that's not it. I realize this is an entertaining TV, but oh, that's a bummer. I thought I had an extra one. Ah. Did I stick it in a... Well, not going to hold everything up. One of those things I probably should have looked for before, just to make sure I had it on hand. And oh hell. Not it. You know, guys, I've got Glenn's Tron stick. I bought that just in case my Tron stick broke, and it's still sitting on my shelf. I haven't even used it because I haven't broke my stick. Uh, oh well. I'll probably find it right after this stream. Okay. So I'm going to turn the power strip on. And then plug it in. Actually, I have a power strip here. Daisy chain off of, which isn't recommended. Flip that on. I see power. 32-inch monitor has power. That's good. The Acer has power. 22-inch. And we should be able to move this thing back to where it belongs. And then I can clean all this shit up, which won't be on the stream. Oh, that bums me out to have that iHome. I'm trying to find out if how to get these side rails trimmed down a bit. I'd like to trim the front rail and both side rails back like a quarter to a half inch so I could see the whole 32-inch playing field. I don't want to lose them altogether because that looks terrible. I still want to have the chrome pieces, but I'd love to just cut them down a little bit. Everything looks good so far. Looks like I got everything wired up okay. Yeah, probably still booting. Looking good so far. So I do have two external power cables that I need to plug in, but at least most of it is on the power strip. Okay, so now I need to put this back on. And these screws are loose too. But I can tighten them just enough so it'll hold the panel on. But over time, taking this stuff on and off just really loosened up those screw holes. But they'll go in there. So this is my power strip inside the machine, and then obviously I've got Arcade1Up power here too. So awesome sauce. She's all buttoned up. She's got the Team Encoder logo there. Parts and pieces. Okay. Take this ridiculous thing off, even though it's very handy, and I highly recommend them to anybody doing work in dark places. Pinner's done. Backglass mod is installed, as you can see behind me. It's been a process. It's been a weeks-long process, as you know. I did the first part last week and the back box this week, so it turned out really well. I'm very proud of it. Team Encoder, once again, thanks to you guys, Mystery Encoder, and the rest of his team that worked on. I know he had I forget his name, starts with a G, work on the backglass piece with the Pi 02W. And that's not really a supported piece of all this, but to me, it's an integral part of this whole experience. So you don't have to do the backglass. You don't have to do the backglass. You can just rest with replacing your PCB with the Pi 5, Orange Pi 5 Max build with the hat. You don't have to do this, but I think it's like a very, great piece of the puzzle. So that's why I wanted to go ahead and do it. I always wanted to do a backglass mod on this thing anyway. Oh, gosh, Gramps Arcade, first of all, welcome. Yeah, so to answer your question, I can't remember that far back, how long that 32-inch mod. First of all, I had to decase the thing. Then I had to take out the old parts and then seat it in there. So I'm gonna say at least a good 2 to 3 hours for the 32-inch piece, and maybe a couple more for the backglass. If I wasn't streaming this, it would probably been a lot quicker. Um, it probably would have gone a lot quicker. I suppose I should do an audio check. Just to make sure. Stock Jock, yes, I wholeheartedly, I gotta be mindful about putting these comments on screen, because when people watch these things, they don't know what, unless they're watching the chat replay, they don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, there's audio. So audio works. That's good. Better stop that before. There's an audio issue too. I don't know if you guys are aware of. In order to raise and lower the volume, you have to be in either in Zen Pinball or in the menu. Like here, you see like a volume guide. I've got mine cranked up all the way. But you can do it within Zen as well. Crank up the volume. So just make sure they're either in the Zen Pinball app or you're in the master game menu. I love the high scores on the back box now. That's one of the reasons I did the Backglass, because I wanted that high score displayed up there. And I had one. Oh, it's not in this one. Or maybe it is. Yeah. One of these soccer games. There I am, twice. Second and fourth in the ACM Football Super League. Those games are actually kind of fun. So it's done. I can move it back in the corner, which I'm not going to do for you folks. Somebody had asked earlier about going into the interface. I'm not sure I'm the best person to explain this, okay? Because it is kind of involved. Zen table management, okay? As you know, Team Encoder arranged this so that the tables that will appear in Zen table management or in the Zen app are tables that you buy on your Android phone or Android device. Okay, so if you've got the Zen Pinball app installed on your phone, you buy your tables through there, and then you'll come back. Let me share this screen. So this is my table management screen. Let me fix something else here real quick. OBS. I don't need my cell phone camera anymore. I'll go back full screen. Okay. So this is the Pinner management console. And so the specific area that this gentleman, I forget his name, is concerned about is how do I buy tables from Zen and then get them onto the table? Well, there are other videos out there that describe this process probably way better than I ever could. But I'll try and the first part is get the tables on your Android app. If you don't have an Android device, get one. Okay. I don't think this will work any other way. It's gotta be an Android device. So if you're an iPhone user, I'm sorry. But if you have a friend that has an Android device and you intend to use that friend to buy these tables for you, he has to be logged in with an email that you've registered the cab to. So you have to purchase the tables. Hopefully I'm getting that right. So I'm sure Mystery Encoder will probably correct me later watching this back. But you have to use your your Google email address or whatever email address you used in Android to register your Zen pinball games here in this interface. Now, I believe it has to be a Google account. So you register your device to Google. This lets Google know that it's an authorized device to log into your Google account. Then you actually do the sign in. You have to walk through the sign in process right here. Okay. And then that takes you through a series of screens to get yourself logged in. If you've got multi-factor authentication going on, then you'll need to enter those or somehow clear that two-factor authentication. And once you're logged in, you're logged in. Then the Pinner app can see your account. And then what you do is you click Get Own Zen Tables. I realize the Google login processes can be confusing, but really, if you've used Google a lot, it really isn't. You just got to go through Google's hoops about signing in. So if you've just got an account with no multi-factor authentication, no other secondary login authentication going on, it's more straightforward, but obviously. But like when I did it last weekend, I had to go through the MFA steps, and which was cumbersome and it was stupid, but it's necessary in this world we live in today. So I'm sorry I can't go really in depth about this, but you got to first register your device to Google. Actually, you only have to do this if Google reports the device isn't certified. Okay, so you really don't need to do this if Google doesn't tell you you need to do this. See, I'm already getting it wrong. See, I'm the wrong person to ask about this. I just fumbled my way through it pretty well. I'm sure there's other videos out there that describe it better than me. Yes, Stock Jock, that is true. Stock Jock points out you don't need an Android device. Yes, and the process is described on one of the help documents that Team and Color put out. You can use software called BlueStacks, which simulates the Android experience on your Windows PC. Okay, I've done that before. When I did the original Pinner version mod to the Arcade1Up PCB, I installed BlueStacks on my PC upstairs, and I purchased the tables in Zen that I wanted to purchase, and transferred them that way. All this step does is just make it a heck of a whole lot easier. And again, all that information is maintained in your Google account. So you're going to need a Google account, and you're going to need some way of simulating an Android device, whether it's an actual physical device or it's simulating Android on the Windows 11 PC. Again, I'm sorry if I'm not going into greater detail about that. I can't show you the process. I couldn't do it last weekend either because I don't want you guys to see my credentials. I don't want you to see the multi-factor authentication I have set up. But I'm sure there are others out there that are willing to do that and have done that and illustrate this process far better than I could. So I apologize if that doesn't get you anywhere closer to where you need to be on this topic. But anyway, StockJack also points out here, one thing to remember: when you send your purchase tables to the machine, it takes about 30 minutes to get your registered tables. Yeah, I didn't have that experience, but it wasn't 30 minutes, but yeah. Okay, unshare. That's it. Okay. I think we've gone on long enough for part 2 here. What we did today is we got the back box installed. And again, I will just mention for the community, it is an Acer model number SB220Q. Fits perfectly in there, really. And get you some 3M tape to help secure it to both the sides and the top. I had fun. I had fun doing this, in spite of some of the frustrating points that we encountered. And I'm just really looking forward to putting my room back together. It's kind of in pieces right now, and I want to get it cleaned up. So we're going to do that off stream here. But I appreciate everybody joining me today. I really do. And everybody, please remember to hit the like and subscribe button. Means a lot to me. As somebody pointed out early in the stream, I'm about 103 away. Mystery Encoder really did me a great service last week by throwing the link to my video out there for everybody to see. I picked up like 10 subscribers off of that. Thank you again, Mystery Encoder, for putting up with me and my mistakes and my frustrations in that stream last week. And you still shared my stuff out there, and it helped me a great deal. So hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already done so. I like to do these hands-on streams. I'm not really a video creator, although I tried my hand at that. So I do try my hand at that from time to time. Again, next week I'm not here. I'm in Indianapolis covering the Brickyard 400 for the organization I work for. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Okay. So until then, until that time, have a great week, a safe week. And I didn't say this last week. I remembered after I shut down the stream. Always remember, I got next.